Hi, John Montgomery here from Benson, Alfa Romeo, and Fiat here in Greer, South Carolina. There's my contact information if you ever need to reach me. There's our website, bensonalfa.com. Well, today I have an Alfa Tonale to go through with you, and I haven't done a video in a while, but I wanted to show you some things about the battery. Here's our special lot cat, Rocky, who is always looking for food, but anyway, just like salesmen. Okay, I want to go over this car and I want to talk to you about the battery of the Alfa Tonale. This is of course an EV car that basically has two different powertrain systems. We've got a gas engine up front, the 1.3 turbo, and then in the back we have the battery powered rear wheel drive, and you can use both of them. It's a true hybrid, or you can drive it in just gas mode. So I want to get into the battery situation with these cars and go through some things with you. This particular car's got about 1,800 miles on it. It's a program car. We've had it for a while, and but this is kind of typical. So if you own an Alfa Tonale, please pay close attention, and I'm going to go through some things that'll help you with your Alfa experience, and hopefully your car would be nice, reliable, and you know, starts every time, runs every time you need it. Okay, so let's look at this battery. What we see here is the battery is up front, and it's not in the back like the Giulia and Stelvio. It also has the same familiar cover, has the same familiar connections, and unfortunately some of the same familiar corrosion that we often see on these cars. You can see that patina right there, and then this yellowish haze down here on this aluminum clamp. And so that's what we're going to try to address today and talk about. This is the negative side, of course, with a swivel clamp, and then this is the positive side. So we're going to take this off, and I want to show you something here before we get started. This is a this piece right here, as you can see, and it's got two different rings that hold it onto the lead post. So you have a lead post, aluminum clamp, and a CAD bolt, like a hardware store bolt that holds it together. And unfortunately, when you ship these cars across the ocean, they can pick up some ambient salt air corrosion and start to corrode because it is an energized post. And so that's sort of the Achilles heel problem with sometimes on these cars, where we just see some corrosion and we get high resistance at the post, and therefore we may not get optimum performance in recharging as you're driving down the road. All right, so let's go through the routine here, and I've done videos on battery cleaning, but we'll just walk through it, and you know, bear with me here. So we're going to try to do this together. Okay, the first thing we want to do after we remove this cover is we want to pull the negative ground off. So we're going to push this button right here and just pull it off. Now, one thing I want you to notice right off, you see there's a little bit of brownish patina right here. That's corrosion that's seeping down from these copper roller pins, and you can see a little bit of white patina inside these rollers. Are little copper rollers. You can't really fix it or clean it very well, but anyway, now the battery is disconnected except for the intelligent battery sensor. This is the thing that tells you what your charge is on your battery. So if it goes below 70%, it's going to give you the non-stop start functionality. All right, so we see some issues right here with this corrosion. So let's go ahead and take our 10mm ratchet, and we're going to go counterclockwise here, and we're going to pull this battery post off. All right, just wiggle it a little bit. It should come off. I may not have got enough turn on it. There we go. Let's see if we can get it. Hang on, let me put the camera down here. There we go. Two hands better than one. There we go. All right, so we've removed this. I want you to observe with me what you see here. You see this battery post connection? You see all the patina on it? You see where it's discolored inside? It just doesn't really look like it's a good, solid, positive connection, or negative connection, I should say. And look at the top of the battery and the sides, okay? So we're gonna clean that off today. Let's go over here to the positive side, and we'll go ahead. I'm going to set the camera back down, and what I need to do is I need to remove these two screws that are on this little red hold down clamp. I just need to back them out about 3/4 of the way. Don't need to take them all the way out. All right, then I'm going to get my 10mm And I'm going to get in here to this 10mm nut and take it off the post clamp. That releases it. It's very tight in here, so you'll need to use probably a 1/4 drive. All right, got it loose. Let's go ahead and just kind of wiggle this to get it off of here. All right, there we go. Now this thing is not going to really come off too much. Let me grab the camera so you can see what I'm doing here. There's the post. There's the clamp. You can see it's not particularly clean. So we've got some ambient salt air corrosion built up that's been going over time. Now this car currently had no codes, but it's going to have codes once we take the battery off. So I'm going to put my camera back down on the stand and we're going to clean this up, and you can see what I'm doing here. All right, so we'll go ahead and take our little post cleaner right here. This is something you can buy at Harbor Freight, or even some of the auto parts stores have them. It's just a really cheap little cleaning tool. You can see the corrosion coming off. And we'll take our little toothbrush and get the top of it. You see all that corrosion coming off. You want to get all of it. Make sure you get around there. It's just like rust on a car. You want to make sure you get everything off. Okay, we have that clean. Now what we got to do is go to the other side, take our battery post cleaner and take the cap off. We're going to come in here and we're going to clean this. You see, let's take one last look at it. Looks pretty nasty. I'm going to clean this up. I got a couple different tools for this. This is just one of them. There's another one. Let's go from the other side. We want this contact surface area to be as clean as possible. This is not so much of a big deal here, but obviously it looks a little corroded. We're going to just brush it off a little bit. But remember, the main thing we want to worry about is surface to surface contact. Okay, let's set that aside. So we've got both the negative done on both sides. Let's go to the positive. So I'm going to lift this up and I'm going to try to get in here as best I can to get this clean. You can see a little wisp of corrosion coming off on my fingers. And as I turn this, we're going to get this clamp cleaned off as best we can. Okay. Take my little toothbrush and get in here and clean this. Remember, these cars are so dependent on the batteries. They really are. And I'm not talking the battery underneath the car for your, EV, 31 miles of range. I'm not talking about that battery. I'm talking about this battery that powers the gas engine. You've got to have nice, clean power. Let's try it one more time. We just really got to get that clean. We don't want to do this more than one time. But if you live in a salt air environment like, coastal Florida or, East Coast US, Baltimore, Norfolk, something like that, Myrtle Beach, you want to look at this periodically. Okay, now I've got it clean on both sides. So what we're going to do before we put this back together, I want to show you something. I'm going to put this in here to keep it from touching. I have a little battery tester. I'm going to put this battery tester here. Positive, negative. All right, it says we got 12.67 volts. I'm going to check the battery. Since it's out of the vehicle, we'll select out of vehicle since it's not connected. And then we're going to hit our enter button and calculate the CCAs, which is 600 on these cars, 600 cold cranking amps. and we're going to hit this test button. All right, what I'm looking at: state of health 100%, state of charge 100%, good battery 12.65 volts. Now, I didn't show you a picture, but this battery had about 85% state of health and about 75% state of charge before I started the video. So how does the battery go to 100%? Well, you've got some resistance at the posts, what was going on, and you saw how corroded especially the negative side was. And so this is the root cause of a lot of false flag problems that you might have. You may get a check engine light for something. You may get your stop start interruption not working. That's especially true on Giulia Stelvio. And I think its root cause of it is just battery not able to replenish the charge because of resistance at the post. So we're going to eliminate that possibility and basically give you a good charge. So here we are, 12.65 volts, 100% state of health. That is the capacity of the battery to get to 100% of its capacity to hold power. And state of charge is the ambient surface level charge that it has right now as we speak. Okay, so all right, that's the end of that. Let's take these clamps off, and then we're going to go and put this post clamps back down. So we want to do our positive first. So what we're going to do here, pull this out of the way, and I'm going to land these two little pins on these two holes here, right on each side of the battery. You can see you want to just kind of land the top of the battery post and then line it up. Just get it to go in there and then lock it down. All right, just pull that in there. Okay. Sorry, my hand was in the way, but basically I just pushed that little red clip down in there into those two holes. You can see the two holes here on the other side. It's the same thing. So now I've got the post landed over the post clamp assembly, and so now I'm going to go ahead and tighten it up. So I'll take my 10mm, change my ratchet to clockwise, and put that on there. It's real tight in here, so you'll need a quarter drive. Tighten that up. Alright, I'm going to use my open end wrench to do final tightening here. Okay. All right. 10mm, that's what you want to use. Okay, so now we got that tight, and we're going to go ahead and make sure our tabs are down. Change this to clockwise, and I'm going to put these screws down. Okay. All right, got that done. Now we're done. We've got this 10mm acorn nut tightened to the post clamp, and now we have these two screws down, and we can put our cover back on. We're done on this side. Okay, let's go to this side. We'll go ahead and put our negative down. So we've got, here's our negative clamp, here's the post clamp right here. Now we can kind of, just kind of scratch this a little bit just so that it's get any kind of corrosion off the bottom. And you can see this little divot right here, this little undercut. This is your clamp, so it makes sure it holds down there, and I'll show you this in a minute. So we're going to put this back down. We've got our positive on, put our negative on, make sure it's seated all the way to the bottom. All right, now we're going to take our socket again, and we are going to tighten it down. Here it is. Okay, clockwise on this. Get it nice and tight. You don't have to have it super tight, just hand tight, nice and snug. All right, now the last thing we need to do is put this little clamp assembly on. So see, it's got the release right here, and it's got a snap. So when we put this down, it's going to snap. Listen, you hear that? Make sure you can't pull it off. Make sure this thing is on there. Make sure sure you cannot pull it off. Okay, now everything's tight. This is tight, this is tight. We got our 10 millimeter right here on this side, and we've got our 2 screws down to hold it. So now our battery is cleaned up. So let's go to the car now, and we're going to check it with the code reader. And so this is another important step, and unfortunately if you're not a dealer, you're not going to really be able to do it, but I'll show you how it works. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start this car since everything's connected back up. Foot on the brake. Okay, what do we got? Service power steering, probably get a couple other codes. Hill start assist, ESC, forward collision, lane keeping. All these are coming up because we disconnected the battery. Okay, now on Giulia and Stelvio, in order to clear this, most of the time you're going to have to go full hard right all the way and hold it. Usually on the Tonale you want to hold it for several seconds and then come back and go all the way around to full lock left. Doesn't matter what order you do, and hold it full lock left. And then let's go back. We'll go ahead and turn it off. All right, let's see if we get the same condition. Now usually on Giulia Stelvio, once you disconnect the battery and reconnect, it's going to be fine, and all the codes will go away. Tonale is a little different. Yep, we're still getting hill start, still getting, there's oil change required. That's not really part of this. Vehicle's ready to drive, and you can see, looks like the codes are gone, but I have got my iPad here, and this is the iPad that we get for the dealership, and this is called the YTech device. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the car back off, and then I'm going to turn it on without my foot on the brake, so I can sort of bring the car in here to this. Apologize for the noise. Okay, so let's see if we can get this thing to select up and find the car. No connections for the device. Let's see. Should be able to read it. Unfortunately, the buyer doesn't really have this available. Oh, I see what I did. Give me a second here. I got to enable the hotspot. All right, let's see if we can get the hotspot to work. Once we get that, we can read the car. There it is right there. Okay, so once you do that, then you can go back and see if, there it goes, it picks up now. So I apologize for that. What are you going to do? I'm an amateur. Okay, so here you go. Alfa Tonale 1.3 turbo, gives you the serial number, VIN number, all that stuff. Okay, it says it's calculating right now to see if there's any DTCs. See if we get anything. It's got 26 DTCs. You see that? Okay. Now the reason why it's got those DTCs, it didn't have any before I started making this video. All right. Here is the all module scan, and let's go to our DTCs. Let's see what we got here. Implausible message, implausible data received, invalid data received, steering angle sensor, missing calibration, steering angle sensor from EPS, steering angle sensor, electrical power steering, battery disconnect and voltage drop, invalid data, steering angle, battery voltage, EPS, steering wheel, BSM, brake system, control module, ladder acceleration, all this stuff. And notice on the right hand side, all of it is stored codes. So here's my point in showing you this. When your car gets a code, it's going to store the doggone thing. And so in order to clear it, we got to hit clear all DTCs. But it's can be very frustrating for an Alfa owner who has maybe a pretty good code reader. It's not going to pick up a lot of this stuff. So sometimes you just have to take it to a dealer. You can even go to a Chrysler dealer and see if you can talk them into reading this car, because they use the same methodology. So it's a matter of getting them to connect it for you. All right, so let's go to our DTCs here, and this is going to clear all DTCs. Okay, so now it says DTC's cleared. I close it out, and let's go ahead and switch the car off again. All right, remember this car's got 1,800 miles. It's a program car. All right, foot on the brake. Well, let's not do foot on the brake. Let's go ahead and run it again and see if we get any more codes. Remember, we've got our battery connected. Everything's good. All right. Doesn't show any DTCs. There's no DTCs present for this vehicle, so we've cleared them all. Okay, so all those things in there that you thought, oh my God, world's coming to an end, it's not. Okay, let's start the car up, see if we get anything. We got the car going, ready to drive. We'll have to reset the forward collision on the settings menu, but basically there's no DTCs and no problems. So, but what we've done now is we've cleaned the battery posts and we've cleared these codes. The car should run perfectly fine now without any problems for the long term. And remember, this is a long-term thing, so you might get lucky and have that battery start this car all the time with no problems, but apparently when that corrosion starts to rear its head and you get low voltage for just a few seconds or less than a few seconds, it's going to give you a code, and that's going to be a real problem for you, because that code is stored and then there's no way to clear it unless you have a code reader. So I'm going to put my toys back together and give you a last look at these things that I use. There's a 10 millimeters, very handy, a little open end, like a flare nut style. So I'll put all these away. Okay, let's see, I got my card out of here. All right, so let's look at this engine compartment for a minute. This is your high voltage cable for your regeneration. As you slow down, it's going to basically regenerate power from down there. And you have your turbo is up here. You've got your catalytic converter here. Here's your turbo actuator rod right here. Here's the way to check your oil. And one thing about the Tonale that's different from the other brands or other Giulia Stelvio, it has a dipstick in it. Look at that. Isn't that great? So now we don't have to use just the electronic checking. We can use the dipstick. Okay. So also, when you're going to open up your hood, you have a single latch lever on that. On Giulia Stelvio, remember, you got one on each side. Right here is a little fail-safe to release it. Okay. So once you have to open your hood, I'll just do it partially here. Okay, to open that hood, you got to pull this lever back to get it open. Okay, pretty easy. All right, let's go ahead and put all this down. We'll get back in the car and we'll take a little drive here. We're going ahead and close this. And when you close it, just sweep it down. All right, make sure both sides are nice and even. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take this thing for a little bit of a ride. It says vehicle's ready to drive. We have 15 miles of charge left on it, so we're good there. And put the seatbelt on. All right, we're going to go ahead and put this in drive. And we are in the natural mode right now, so it's going to run in the natural mode. It's going to run on the electric. Okay, we're just going to go around the parking lot here. I see the forward collision light still on, but that's because we have to go to the settings menu and turn it on. Okay. So remember, on these Tonales, if you turn it up to the D mode, the engine's going to start. You're going to get your rev counter and all that, and you're going to be on the gas engine. So the thing about these cars, they're a true hybrid, but the most thing to remember, you'll never get range anxiety on an Alfa Romeo Tonale because you can always run the gas. Okay, you can run the gas for as much as you want. So let's say you were driving this car from here in South Carolina down to Atlanta or going to Charlotte or something like that. Just put it on the gas mode and you're good to go. You can drive this car to California if you want. But if you go down here to the natural mode, which you can shift this on the fly, it's probably going to shut off. Yep, there it is. It's shut off because you're now on the electric mode. And down in advanced efficiency, same thing. Mostly stays on the electric mode. So when you need power, though, it'll go from natural mode. It'll go and the engine will turn on and it'll give you extra power. So you'll have both the electric motor and the gas motor running together. Okay, well, that's kind of all I have. Let me show you my card again. There I am. I'm on Eastern time. Please be respectful of that. If you need to reach out to me, I'm usually here Tuesday through Saturday. Take Mondays off, and because we work the weekends like today. And also want to show you something here about the Alfa Romeo Owners Club. And this is a great club to belong to. I've been a member since 2016. And we take a full page ad. We're the only dealer in America taking a full page ad out in the Alfa Owner. But there's a lot of great vendors. Centerline is a good one, but both new and old. All kinds of articles, full color. There's Cindy Banzer, who is the president of the club. She does a great job with her team on the board. And of course, they've got their Crystal Lake, Chicago convention coming up, and that's going to be, let's see here if I've got a date. You can go online to 2025arockconvention.com and get all of the information about it. So it's going to be a great event, and so hope you will be able to join them. And joining the club is one of the best investments you can make, because it's $68 a year, but you have access to the forums, you've got access to the people that know the cars, you know, and it's just a great investment. So lots of great stories, both the new cars and the old cars. So it's just, there's stuff about exhaust. There's all the bling that you can get from them here, Central PA chapter. They're a great group. I've met them 2 or 3 times. Here's a nice story on an Alfa GTV6 Restomod, or GTV Restomod Alfetta, I suppose. Just a lot of great information. So I hope you'll check out the Alfa Club. And there's also classifieds, which is really cool. So you know, I wouldn't mind buying a car. There's a lot of great members in here. If they're selling their car, you can't go wrong dealing with people that love the cars and take good care of them, maybe looking for a new home. Here's the new classifieds. Check that out. So anyway, anybody wants to send me some money, I will do my best to buy the best Alfa I can find in here. Anyhow, so that's it, my friends. And again, thank you for listening. And there's Benson Alfa Romeo right here. There's the phone number down on the left, and the website's bensonalfa.com. We're one of the leading dealers in America. We've been doing this since 2014 with the Alfa Romeo when the 4Cs came out, and I think we have the record for the number of 4Cs sold in America, which is, I think, 38 brand new 4C cars. So anyway, we've been selling Fiat since 2012. So, you know, we wouldn't do these kind of videos unless we wanted to help you. So please keep that in mind when you're looking for a purchase. We do ship cars out of state. We just took an order for one going to New Mexico. And so anyway, try to have some friends in this business and try to help you. So I hope you have a great day. And as you can see, all of our codes are off and everything's good. The car is purring like a kitten, and it should do so for many years to come. So again, thanks a lot, and have a great day. We'll talk soon. Ciao.